you have really focused on homocysteine as a major factor in this. Could you explain what homocysteine is and why it rises as we get older and what's it doing to the brain?
Yeah, certainly. So homocysteine is a toxic amino acid. Proteins are made from amino acids. And normally we eat protein containing an amino acid called methionine. And when you've got enough B vitamins, you turn it into something amazing called SAMe, S-adenosyl methionine, which, by the way, is a highly effective supplement for many conditions, including to depression. It is not available because it works. So because it has a medical effect, it was classified as a medicine. And as a medicine, it doesn't have a license, so it can't be sold. So it fell down the gap between food and medicine, taken off the market, SAMe. Now, if you don't have B6, B12 or folate or enough, and B12 as you get older is often quite hard to absorb, then the blood homocysteine level rises. And the higher your homocysteine, the worse your cognition. If you bring the homocysteine down, your memory gets better. If it goes up, your memory goes worse. It not only is absolutely critical for all the connections in the brain, and very specifically, your brain is 60% fat when you take the water out, and it's called neurons or brain cells, and all the talking is going through the membrane of the outside. So it's like, it's like the ears, the listening. And that membrane is made of omega-3 DHA, so very specifically, which has to be bound to these blobby things called phospholipids, which in eggs and fish. And the binding is done by methylation. Methylation requires B vitamins. So if you lack B6, B12, folate, your homocysteine goes up. You can't do methylation. You can't build neurons. And also it's toxic to your arteries. So now you get arterial disease. Now, the thing is, in 2003, I wrote a book on homocysteine. At the time, it was called the H factor. I think now it's called homocysteine, whatever. And the byline was probably the most important medical breakthrough of the century. Now, it was 2003, so it was quite early on. But recently, two genius professors, one former vice dean of Oxford Medical School, Professor David Smith, and the other Professor Helga Refson, wrote a paper, a beautiful paper. Homocysteine predicts 100 diseases. It's a biomarker for osteoporosis, for macular degeneration, for Parkinson's, for every neurological disease, for autism, for strokes, heart attacks, all the cardiovascular problems, pregnancy problems, cancer. It just goes on and on. So actually, the discovery of methylation, where if you're not good at it, because your homocysteine is high, is probably the single biggest breakthrough in medicine and remains so this century.